Have you ever asked yourself the following question? What is happening to the educational system in the United States today? If so, then the following information may be quite interesting to you. Homeschooling can be a beneficial alternative to children in many ways, and it is becoming popular for many reasons. Parents are the primary educators of their children, and it is their right to decide where their children receive their education. Therefore, homeschooling should be promoted as an equally acceptable form of education and should not be looked down upon by society. So, why do parents decide to homeschool their children? A 2003 National Household Education Survey found that the three most popular reasons among their respondents were: first, concern about the environment of the other schools; second, a desire for religious or moral instruction; third, dissatisfaction with the academic instruction of other schools. Another book by Dr. Brian Ray of the National Home Education Research Institute, the NHERI, entitled Home Educated Now Adults, states 5 reasons why the surveyed or their parents chose homeschooling. First, the parents believe that they could give their children a better education at home. Second, for religious reasons. Third, to teach their children particular values, beliefs, and worldviews. Fourth, to develop character and morality. And fifth, they objected to what the school teaches. A few other reasons can be found on the NHERI website, including better family relationships, safer environment, social and emotional development, involvement in social and educational activities, and success later on in the real world, to name a few. One of the reasons parents are choosing to homeschool their children is because of the decline of the public education system in our present day. Let's face it, the public education system is not what it used to be. Former Secretary of Education Richard Ridley said this: "We need to stop dumbing down our children and reach up and set high expectations." There are many statistics that prove the excellence of quality of education a homeschooled student can receive. In 1997, Dr. Brian Ray of the National Home Education Research Institute released a study entitled Strengths of Their Own: Homeschoolers Across America. This study showed that on average, homeschooled students performed higher than their public school peers on standardized tests by 30 to 7 percentage points in all subjects. The same study showed that students who had been homeschooled for 2 or more years performed 27 to 33 percentage points higher than the students who had been homeschooled for a year or less. So this proves that homeschooling over time has a good effect on the academic performance of the students. Also, the studies show that either homeschooling is improving or public schools are declining, since a study done by the Homeschool Legal Defense Association, the HFLDA, just 5 years before the NHERI study, showed that homeschooled students performed 15 to 30 percentage points higher than their public school peers, which is only half of what it is now. And best of all, these and other studies have shown that the race of students and the cost of education really have nothing to do with performance on exams. The Strengths of Their Own study showed that in homeschooling, the race of the student has no effect on academic performance overall. Overall, white and minority homeschooled students alike were in the 87th percentile. Homeschooled white students scored in the 82nd percentile in math, and while the minority scored in the 77th percentile. So there's really no significant difference there. Such is not the case in public schools, however. In the public schools, white students scored in the 58th and 57th percentiles in math and reading, respectively. Black students scored in the 24th percentile in math and the 28th percentile in reading, and Hispanic students scored in the 29th percentile in math and the 28th percentile in reading. A quote from the Homeschool Legal Defense Association: "These findings show that when parents, regardless of race, commit themselves to make necessary sacrifices and tutor their children at home, almost all obstacles present in other school systems disappear." Both the Strengths of Their Own study by Dr. Brian Ray and another study by Dr. Lawrence Bredner show that it is not necessary to spend a large amount of money to get a good, solid education. Strengths of Their Own found that the average cost of a homeschooled student's education was $547, while the average cost per public school student was $5,325. But the average homeschooled student scored in the 85th percentile on standardized tests, while the average public school student only scored in the 50th percentile. The 1998 study by Dr. Rudner found that the 8th grade homeschooled students whose parents spent $199 or less on their education scored on average in the 80th percentile nationally. 8th grade homeschooled students whose parents spent anywhere from $400 to $599 on their children's education scored an average in the 80th percentile as well. Therefore, the cost of education makes no difference. What really counts is the hard work, time, and effort which the parents put into their children's education. Again, I quote from the Homeschool Legal Defense Association. The message is loud and clear. More money does not mean a better education. Loving and caring parents is what matters. Money can never replace simple hard work. As is evident by the research presented, homeschooling has a favorable effect on students and can expand their horizons in many ways. Homeschooling is a beneficial option. Several justified reasons exist for parents to choose homeschooling for their children, and as primary educators of their children, they certainly have that right, and society should not try to stand in the way.